My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and the grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. One of the most famous and accomplished directors of movies is Frank Capra. You're probably familiar with It's a Wonderful Life, which is probably, according to many people, one of the greatest movies of all time. And Frank Capra wrote an autobiography, and he talks about how within the first decade of his career, he experienced unparalleled success, that he had won every award that could be won in the movie industry, and very quickly, right, very early on, within 10 years. And with such fast success, he became afraid paralyzed with fear that his next film, or a film at some point, would fail, and that he wouldn't know how to deal with that. In other words, the success went to his head. Right? He reached the pinnacle so fast that he figured he'd fall at some point, and he was deathly afraid of that, such that he stopped working, and he faked an illness that eventually became real. To a certain extent, he began to display real symptoms after saying to so many people for so long that he was sick, and he actually became seriously ill. And there was a friend of his who would visit him on a regular basis, good friends, and at one point, Capra told his friend that he was dying, right? That he wasn't going to make it, that he was going to die soon. I mean, he'd really gotten ill. And one day, this friend came to visit him and brought somebody else, someone that Frank Capra did not know. And this man comes in. Somehow he knew what was going on. And he comes in with a very simple message. A very short message. He looks at Frank Capra, who's in bed, and says, "Mr. Capra, you're a coward. The talents you have are not your own. They are not self-acquired. God gave you those talents. They are His gifts for you to use for His purpose. And when you don't use the gifts God blessed you with, you are an offense to God and an offense to humanity." This is a very sharp criticism, a very direct one. A criticism, a correction, which surely did not feel good. But it sparked an important conversion in the life of Frank Capra. In fact, It's a Wonderful Life comes later. And Frank Capra was hit with the truth. Truth that, was it comfortable? Certainly not. But it was the truth. And it was good for him to hear it. He needed to hear it. And actually, you and I are beneficiaries of his having heard that truth. If you like It's a Wonderful Life, or any other movies made by Capra in the 40s or later, well, we can thank this man. We don't know his name. But this man who came in and gave this important and good correction to Frank Capra. There's a passage in the Gospel of St. Luke, chapter 12, which can be hard to interpret, perhaps. Jesus said to the crowds, "When you see a cloud rising in the west, you say immediately that it is going to rain, and so it does. And when you notice that the wind is blowing from the south, you say that it is going to be hot, and so it is." Okay, so it's just a simple observation, right? We observe something in the weather, we observe something around us, and we know that something is going to happen that's going to cause something else to happen. Very simple. Okay. And Jesus continues. He says, "You hypocrites! You know how to interpret the appearance of the earth and the sky. Why do you not know how to interpret the present time?" He tells them that you can call a spade when it comes to the weather, right? You're able to say the truth with regards to the weather. But can you recognize the truth in other areas? Can you recognize the truth in this present time? Can you recognize the truth in your own lives? The truth regarding us, how we are, who we are, right? What are my talents? That's important to know. Do I know what my talents are? Can I say I'm good at this and this other thing and this other gift that I have? And what about my defects? We all have defects. I remember a priest saying once in a homily, he says, "We are all annoying to somebody." We may not particularly like that thought, but it's true. I may think, well, I'm really likable. And that could be true. But there's going to be someone who finds you annoying for whatever reason. Okay, but we have defects. And it's very important to see the truth and to recognize it. What are my defects? Do I have a vice that I am not able to overcome? Saint Teresa of Avila would say, humility is the truth. It's the way things are. It would be a false humility just to immediately assume that, oh, I'm so bad. I'm terrible. I don't do anything well. No, that's not humility. Humility is to see things as they are and to call things by their name. So if I did something well, wonderful. We can recognize that. But it's also due to give thanks to God, who gave us the gift to be able to do that particular thing well. And if we see that we have a defect, that is also a gift from God, because we see an area in which we can struggle. In our life, we can hear the truth in different ways. Hear the truth about ourselves. Can I take it? Do I allow myself to be corrected? Do I allow myself to be corrected by a spouse or a friend, a sibling, a colleague at work? Because if I have a really hard time being corrected by any of those people, how will I be able to take it from God? If I can't take a correction from another human, how am I going to change something if God asks me to change it? Of course, being told the truth about how we can improve is not easy. It's going to sting our pride a little bit. Yes, this is normal. I'm sure it did not feel good for our friend Frank Capra, but he was able to take it, to accept it, and to improve. So let's think. Have I been corrected recently by anyone in any type of circumstance? How did I take it? Did I say thank you? I'll work on that. Or did I give excuses? Or did I accuse the other person of doing the same thing? And that might be true, but that does not take away from the fact that there's something there that I need to work on. So let's not be afraid of the truth, particularly if it means improving something in our character, in our way of working or behaving, in loving our Lord more. So we can ask our Lord, Jesus, Help me see me as I am. Help me see me as you see me. Where can I improve? Or what I have been told recently by a friend, a colleague, a family member, that there's something I can grow in. Well, help me, Lord. Help me see your will there, and give me the grace to be humble to accept it and to do it. Jesus' mother, Mary, she's also my mother and your mother, said yes when she was told what her vocation was, that she would be the mother of God. She said yes. She said, let it be done to me according to your word. That's what she told the angel Gabriel. Well, Mary, help us have that same docility to accept constructive criticism and correction whenever it happens to come our way. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help to put them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.